For the 10th time in a row now, I got funded, managed to build a certain amount of capital on that account, and still blew it. Again, one trade away from the buffer. I've been in that position a couple times, even one trade away from a payout, and still the cycle continues. I could make this title pretty pessimistic, like the dark reality of trading, but I don't want to do that in the first place because I don't want to be a pessimist. I don't even want to be a realist. I want to be an optimist. That's one thing. Second, I don't think there is a dark side of trading. There's only, or mainly, a dark side of ourselves that forces us to do certain things that make it appear that there is a dark side to trading. Forgive me if I look a bit cooked. In fact, I'm fried. Just done hill sprints with the boys. But last Friday, I blew, like I said, my 10th funded account in a row without getting to my first payout yet. A perfect time to reflect on that after working out. And the main issue that I've been struggling with is perfectionism. Perfectionism leading to hesitation. This last funded account that I've now blown, I took a losing streak that was due to variance of good trades, a couple bad trades, but mainly missing a lot of good opportunities by talking myself out of them. So I want to talk about how I'm going to overcome this and what I'm planning to do moving forward. Perfectionism leading to hesitation. What is causing hesitation? The fact that I'm operating at a low trade frequency, aiming for 2 to 3 good trades per week on average, with high risk. Treating my prop firm account as a live account, being selective with my setups, and risking a sufficient amount of my drawdown. It doesn't work for me because it puts too much psychological and actual weight on individual trades. And the cycle is the same continuously. I managed to do good for a couple of weeks, building my account up. Right now I came from $800 in drawdown. I made 2K on a 25K account, so it's almost 10% if you want to talk in percentages. And then I still managed to blow the trailing drawdown, which was $1,500. So usually I do good for a couple of weeks, and then I take that loss, either like a loss based on variance or a loss that was a mistake, and then I get in a bad loop. So what I want to target mainly moving forward is raising my trade frequency so that one individual trade does not carry too much weight. On top of that, and aligning with that, I don't want to put all my focus on one account as if it were a live account, because it is not a live account. On a live account, you don't have a trailing drawdown breathing in your neck. You can allow for variance for 3 to 4 losses in a row. On a funded account, you cannot do that unless you want to risk really low, but then it doesn't really make sense and the progress is just too slow. So moving forward, I want to divide my risk across multiple accounts and rotating them. This will lower my risk of ruin because I can divide my risk across multiple accounts and I can take one trade and then move on to the next account. And this will allow for more variance in my trades. Upping or raising my trade frequency will demand for me to have more entry patterns. And this is something I'm actively looking forward to. Being too strict with one entry pattern inside of a system often leads to being overly selective. And then when the entry pattern comes, being underly selective, which then leads to pattern trading, or at least for me. I feel, or I know, that when I'm following my system, but allowing for more than one entry pattern, I create there are more opportunities in the market that I can join, and that will allow me to rotate multiple accounts. So I'm not planning to copy trade moving forward. I'm planning to now buy 5 to 10 evals, 10 in total, focusing on pass rate instead of win rate. And then out of the accounts that I passed, focusing on payout rate again instead of win rate. So what I'm planning to do is buy 10 evals, aim to pass at least 3 of those, 33% pass rate. And out of those 3, I'm going to aim again for 33% payout rate. If I buy 10 50K evals, $100 each, roughly, that's $1,000. If I pass 3 of those, and if I can get 1 max payout of those, which is 2K in the first round on a Lucid, then I've made already twice my investment, my original investment. And that's way better than what I'm doing now. So that's what I'm aiming for. Second part of fixing my hesitation, I plan to reach or achieve with my risk management. Moving from having a fixed or moving from having a discretionary stop loss based on structure, a structural stop loss and take profit, basically, moving towards a static stop loss and take profit. Why? Because with a static stop loss and take profit, I can divide the trailing drawdown in a certain amount of points, in a certain amount of units that I can risk per account. For example, on a 50K eval, I have 2K in drawdown and I plan to make 3K. So I'm going to divide that in 2 pieces of 1K to make 1K and a half. And I'm going to divide that in 25 point stop losses to 38 point TPs. I've backtested this thoroughly, going to my live data, and this works. All that is left is me executing properly, and that is going to be the biggest challenge. So static stop losses, 25 to 38, on high volume, 50 to 76, on low volume, like in low volume London session, 12.5 to 19. 3 sizes, but the main size is going to be 25 to 38. Everything else stays the same. I'm trading from drawdown liquidity to drawdown liquidity. I'm focusing on gaps mainly, and London, Asia, and New York highs and lows, but mainly on gaps. And continuations or starts of reversals from drawdown liquidity to drawdown liquidity. But instead of just fair value gap continuations, allowing for inversions as well, and displacements and tap-ins. What that is will become clear in my trade recap videos. If you want to watch those, I'll be there to explain the trades that I'm taking, starting with later tonight. I'm going to upload the trade that I took yesterday to secure 1.5 R. Other than that, some thoughts on trade progression. I would have thought by now I would have been way further. I'm going to be honest about that. Over a year ago, I got funded for the first time, and then I was planning to get a payout like that same month, of course. We're more than 1 year further, and I'm still not there. Is it difficult? Sometimes yes. At the same time, trading is shaping me in a very good and profound way. I wouldn't want it any other way. Or I'm not looking back on that period as if I wanted to do something else. That's not the case. I am more than ready for results though. I try to put my focus as much as possible on the process and not on the result. And I know it's possible. If someone else can do it, we all can do it. That is the mindset I ought to have, or I would advise anyone to have. And it just comes down to fine-tuning and executing. Execution, hesitation are my main issues, and this is what I'm working on moving forward. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the next phase. I hope you're excited too, and I wish you the best day of your life so far. What that means is tomorrow is gonna be even better. And if you don't believe that, watch and see. Goodbye for now. Thank you for watching.